Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is episode 68 on Wednesday, February 7th, 2018. I am Clyde. I am joined today by Matthew Ross.
Hey, I made it.
You made it. And Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
So you seem confused by the time and date.
Yeah, well, the date, no. The time, a little bit. Like, I'm a little, just running a little late. Sorry, everybody.
Hey, no worries. But
Comedy of errors at my house.
Hey, at least you managed to show up. Jimmy, where the hell is he?
He's in an airplane, isn't he?
Again,
that's where he always is.
I'm pretty sure he chooses to fly on Wednesdays on purpose.
Just tell me, do you have a flight on Wednesday? Yeah, is it about, 7 o'clock Pacific time? Okay, I'll take it.
Well, it doesn't have to be that time. I'll just say that it was that time.
Yeah.
Now, if he was flying on porpoise, I would give him mad props, but hey, you know what? It's Wednesday. We are here.
That's true.
And I don't know.
Yeah, we're here because it's Wednesday, and that's what we do. It's a thing.
Because almost 2 years ago, we made this stupid obligation that we would be here on this day.
And our 4 or 5 fans who watch us every week, we really appreciate you.
Hey.
You have no idea. And the rest of you who happen to fly by night, come by and see us. Hey, why don't you stick around a while? At least say hi or leave us a note or something. Let us know that you're there. That'd be great.
Yeah, and the best way to let us know that you're there is to throw us a follow. Right up there. Yeah, we got, nice. I got to say, we are into February. And you know what? Something spectacular happened this month. Just a couple days ago.
Started flying again?
About 7 days ago, we got paid.
What?
People actually subscribed to our stream.
What?
Which is a reminder that we are now in February. If you want to throw away a perfectly good Twitch sub,
that's fairly appropriate.
It's
I
time
appreciate
to do
that
it again.
wording. It's very good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I found last month you can't do it from your phone. You actually have to do it from a web browser. Which reminds me, I should probably do that. But no, we don't sub to our own channels. That would be
that's what you do. You always vote for yourself in an election. Don't you know that? You always do that.
I thought you're legally supposed to vote for the other person.
No. Oh, no. You have every right to vote for yourself. Absolutely.
That was a reference to Parks and Rec, if anybody watched that. Great show.
I did not watch a lot of it. I watched some of it, and it was funny. It was funnier than The Office.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it for the longest time. And then once I finally sat down last year and powered through season 1, then it became hilarious.
Gotcha.
Once it stopped being all about her and started focusing on everybody else.
There's a lot of shows that need that first season to just kind of figure itself out.
Yeah, I get it. And if I hadn't forced myself through that first season, I probably never would have. And I'm so glad I did.
Are we ready to start our second season so we can claim we figured ourselves out?
No. Oh, no. We're still way...
Well, we're in our second season.
Technically, yeah.
See, the sophomore season is usually your worst season, right?
Oh, okay. So that's fair.
Yeah.
We're in our sophomore season. It's the third season.
When everything
skip right to that and just be there next week.
Well, we just relaunch as a new thing, and then suddenly we they were good right from the start. That's so great.
Yeah. I mean, we are technically at 68 episodes, so less than or just over 30 weeks from now, we'll be at 100. We'll have to do something special. See what we can do for.
Going to do for
Like if we were a TV show, we would be right at the end of our third season, right? Like,
We would probably be wrapping up because a lot of shows will wrap up around 100. So,
yeah.
and
Aw.
I am completely mystified right now because Matt, I don't think I've ever seen you without your glasses.
No, really?
I looked up and went, "Wait, who is that guy?"
It's Superman.
So that's how super. I always wondered how Superman and Clark Kent were able to fool people, but now I get it.
Now, if you notice something, I have very dark bags underneath my eyes. They're always there. The glasses do a good job hiding them. They just look like shadows of the glasses.
You sure they're not caused by the glasses, being that
They
they
might be.
fit perfectly?
Don't know. It's possible. I claim no knowledge or understanding of that, but it is true that I have the kind of eyes that if I take off my glasses, no matter what, I can be perfectly well rested, 12 hours of sleep, and I look like I'm exhausted.
See, that's why I have my light the way it is, because then I've just got dark shadows there, and you don't see
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
Oh, you got the vampire lights on. That's what it is. Okay,
make my eyes disappear.
okay.
Are my eyes open or closed? Can you tell?
Well, unfortunately, I can't
Not
because
really.
my version of Skype right now is putting you in a little tiny corner of my screen, which
Good.
makes it really, really
That's
difficult
right where
to
I
see
belong.
any- You're the size of a postage
Everybody
stamp on my screen.
puts Harvey in the corner, and I'm perfectly happy there. Just stay off my lawn.
Fine.
And on that note, should we get into some news?
We could do that.
All right.
You know how last week we were talking about YouTube TV and how it'd be great if it was available for Roku?
I
and
know.
Apple
Damn
TV?
them.
Just like the 12 hours later, they were on both.
Wait.
Believe it or not, they announced first, beginning of the day, that, you know what? We did release this for the Roku. You can now start using this. This is something we kind of said we've seen kind of out in kind of a beta form last week. But now, officially, you can use you can use YouTube TV on your Roku on most of the models, everything from a Roku 2 on up. It's a really nice interface. I've actually been using it. It's been a lot of fun. And then later in the day, because they kind of hinted, and Apple TV is coming very soon. Well, apparently, it just needed to go through Apple's approval process because later in the day, it was approved. And it came out for that system too. I have no idea what it looks like on the Apple TV. I suspect it's awesome.
Oh, we'll have to wait until Jimmy comes back to weigh in on that.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, I downloaded the YouTube TV app. I haven't gotten around to actually opening it because you have to go to a desktop to sign up, and I was like, man, I got other things to do. So
There's a 7-day free trial. You can try it out if you wish to.
you can. Absolutely. I know Wabbit got himself a Roku Ultra and then signed up for YouTube TV. I think because YouTube TV app wasn't available on his version of the Roku, so. But he was telling me, and we'll talk about it after, but he was telling me about a new feature that he found on that Roku Ultra that makes me go, I think I need it. So remind me later. Somebody poke me when we're done, and we'll talk about that. But
During the show or after the show?
I'm
Whenever.
always down to be poked. DTBP.
Ooh.
Anytime.
Ooh, okay, we're going to totally change stories now. I hope everybody enjoyed watching the football game last Sunday
Wait.
because
The
What?
what?
there's a football game.
World Cup? That's like in the summer.
No. American rugby.
Again, summer, right?
Nope. Arena football. No, this isn't arena football.
No.
Super Bowl.
Yes, there was a large Super Bowl game that happened this Sunday, and a lot of people were able to stream it on their various devices and services because now you can get a lot of the local NBC channels over them. Hulu actually was one of them, and unfortunately, if you were watching the game, the last few minutes of the game, suddenly you got a big black screen during the last few minutes of the game.
You think that was intentional? They probably
do
had
I
money
think-
on the game, and they tried to trick their bookie into believing that no. Yeah,
Do I
you
think
missed it.
this is somehow the New England Patriots trying to cheat their way? I don't think so,
Wait.
but it's possible.
Or is that because they won or because they lost?
You don't know?
No.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anyways, they also had a small glitch for people who were watching the game early on in the game if you're watching a PlayStation View, but they were able to fix that previously. And also, just the regular NBC feed everywhere had a nice big black 2-minute span or something like that, which didn't, according to NBC, didn't affect any commercials or any gameplay. But yeah, it seems like everybody was having a little trouble with this stream this year.
Yeah,
Well-
this was. It was interesting for me. I actually did watch it this year, and this is probably the first Super Bowl that I've watched in living memory. I mean, I probably have watched some Super Bowls in the past, probably like in high school when a bunch of friends got together to do it or something. But I don't remember ever watching an entire Super Bowl. But I did watch this one all the way through, and it was actually a remarkably good game. But which is why I kept watching it, because I kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to watch it." One of the running back for the New England, not for New England, for the other team,
The Pirates?
No, not the Pirates. Philadelphia. Yeah.
So the Philadelphia Eagles, the running back for that team played at Boise State. So we were going to watch just for a minute to see him run a couple of runs and kind of, oh, that was cool. He was one of our guys. And but the game was really good, so I actually ended up watching the whole thing on the NBC app. And at first, I started at the NBC app. I switched over to the ESPN app, to the NFL app, and I switched back to the NBC app because I had trouble with both of them. The NBC app stalled out a number of times throughout, where it stopped to buffer and stuff, despite the fact that my internet was working fine. So there was obviously a number of issues on both the NBC and NFL apps. The weirdest thing to me was that there were a lot of commercial breaks that didn't include any commercials on the NBC app. So there was clearly a commercial break. It would just tell me, "Oh, the game will be back shortly." And I'm like, why are you showing no commercials? These people paid millions of dollars for these commercials, and you're not streaming them?
Because they're not getting paid.
Guess not. They want to get paid more for their internet streaming. So that was interesting because you would think that NBC would be streaming the commercials on the internet as well as over the air on broadcasting it, but they did not. A number of the commercials appeared to be missing.
Okay. I was going to ask, was it all of the commercials or just some of the commercials? Not
all of them, but a fair number of them. I don't think the one that stood out, and I don't know, maybe this is a later topic, but the one that stood out was the Tide one. That seemed to catch a lot of interest.
Were they predicting that the game would be tied?
No, it was actually kind of a funny commercial, but I didn't see it during the football game. I watched most of the commercials and didn't see that one because it was, as far as I can tell, it was not delivered via the NBC app on Fire TV. Now, I only used Fire TV, so I don't know what the experience might have been like for the same app on Roku or something else.
Okay. I got to ask, what is YT TV? Is that
it meant to be TV.
I didn't know if that was TV. Thank you TV. I was going to say, hey, that's a good sponsor. No, the reason I was asking about the commercials was because I assume no matter which cable replacement you're using, they should be getting the same NBC stream. And I did pop in for about 30 seconds at one point just to see what it looked like on DirecTV Now. And then I found the NBC stream and I went, oh, yep, it's streaming. And then I turned it off. It was showing a commercial of some sort, but I didn't stick around long enough to check it. So, and yes, MB, yellow turkey does taste vulgar. Yes, that's a deep cut. Uh, but no, yeah. So I was curious about that because I know in the past watching CBS, like streaming from directly from CBS's website, they would show commercials. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh. We're going to move on to story. ESPN has been rumored about having their own streaming service that, Disney's been kicking around a little bit. And it looks like that they're officially going to be launching the stream for a price of $4.99. So I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I needed to read into this slightly more. Is this everything ESPN, or is this like extra stuff that doesn't fit inside their normal channels that they're trying to get into this $5 a month thing?
So $5 a month is a low price, and it's maybe too much in my opinion for what you're going to end up getting. You don't get ESPN or ESPN2.
Okay.
Which are their biggest channels by a huge margin. So what you end up getting is, and it doesn't even clearly state that you get like ESPNU or ESPN News, though there are like 600 ESPN channels. Almost every game you would care about if you watch any of the major sports, baseball, basketball, football, are going to be on those two channels. So there's a few games that you might get, like especially college football on ESPNU or something like that. But the vast majority of the major games and the big names are on those two channels, and you don't get them with this. They said you get tens of thousands of hours or thousands of hours of live streaming content, not live sports programming, but you're not getting the stuff that's on those two channels, which means you're getting either second-rate games in smaller markets, or you're getting things like cricket and, luge and curling or whatever, sports that don't have a big following in the U.S. I don't know what it's going to be, but it definitely sounds like the biggest stuff is not going to be here. You're still going to need to have a subscription to a cable service to get those main channels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, just based on the price alone, I was going to guess that you were going to be missing a significant. Yeah, I was going to say, just based on the price.
Yeah, they said that basically what will happen is the app that you use, the ESPN app on your phone, is just going to get an enhancement that will add another tab. So currently you can do news and stats and stuff, or scores and stats, and then there's a tab that lets you sign in to watch streaming TV through a subscription through your cable provider, right? Sign in through your cable provider and watch it that way. They're just adding another one that lets you watch this ESPN Plus. But again, if you actually want all of the content that you probably care about, you still have to have that cable subscriber login. And the other question I would ask is this stuff on Plus exclusive to Plus? So if you actually do want both, what's on the subscriber login, but maybe the less common stuff, do you have to pay the $5 extra to get that too? So that you can watch ESPN Cricket Channel or whatever it might be? I don't know.
It seems like I don't watch enough ESPN to care too much about this, if you know what I mean. I do think ESPN has, it's got basketball in the right. It's basically one of its big sports it has down. Other than that, what other big sports is on ESPN a lot? Some college football. Ooh, billiards
and poker.
Okay.
Yeah, poker? They have a fair number of things. They get the majority of football games, both college and professional. Oh. Though there's, professional football, right? Like there's Monday night and Sunday night, but those are like one game each, and then all of the other teams play on various other nights, and those are aired on ESPN. And then like Sunday night and Monday night football is aired on a major broadcast channel. So it's kind of one of those where the majority of the NFL games, and I could be wrong, this is my perception. I'm sure I don't watch NFL at all. So, but my father-in-law and my brother-in-law watch a lot of football, so I kind of hear what they say and things like that. So this is totally secondhand. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that that's how it works with like college football. Like ESPN, ESPN2 get almost all of the major college football games.
Yeah, I thought they did get almost all the college games. I mean, they pretty much cover a lot of that, and so.
I think that they get a fair amount of baseball as well, because there's a lot of teams playing games all the time. I mean, they each team plays like 160 games a year, so that's so I think that a lot of baseball is on there too. So
it seems like a lot of the regional sports channels ended up getting the baseball, quite frankly. So.
Yeah. I could be wrong on that. Like I said, I'm certainly not the expert on sports.
So that being said, okay, let's say that they have a lot of college basketball and a lot of college football and a lot of these different things, and they already have a lot of that stuff already on ESPN and ESPN2, and then this additional kind of fill in the gap, additional ESPN Plus stuff is going to get those things like billiards and. I mean, is that what's going to be end up on there? What is this for? Do we know yet exactly what's going to be shown on this? Before I spend any money on this, I better be something I want to watch on it, and so I need to know what's on there. I don't know.
If I didn't live where I live, I might actually pay the $5 for, maybe a month in the summer to watch the Lumberjack games.
Ooh.
But I can just drive a couple hours over into Wisconsin and actually go to the Lumberjack games. And
that's where they saw through huge trees and cut down.
And they've got the log rolling thing. They've got an actual arena place that's there year round. It's over in Hayward, Wisconsin.
I'm surprised that's not on TV more often because that stuff is entertaining.
I know, it's awesome. I mean, so like I said, I would if I wasn't where I'm at. I would probably pay the $5 to get that. So like one weekend out of the year.
My only guess is that these college sports and such, a lot of people latch onto them because when I was in college, I did play basketball, and when I was in college, I did those kind of things. How many people went through college and threw axes at targets and walked around on logs? And yeah, that's probably a very specific group of people. So.
Just to throw this out there, I mean, your question about this, when I Google ESPN Plus, the first article, I think it was the first article that came up, is titled "Will ESPN Plus be worth it?" And so, if that's the first question people are asking, and I mean, this is CNN media, that's the first question they're asking. That's probably because $5 a month, it might not be worth that. They just a quick skim, they go to say things like, while there will be NBA games there, a lot of the NBA games also air on TNT. NFL games air on Fox and CBS, so you can get a fair amount of NFL and NBA through other solutions. So if you're trying to get the big games and stuff like that, this isn't going to provide it. And what it does provide, you can probably get in other ways. So I'm dubious to think that this is really actually worth $5.
We'll see. That's the thing. We just can't. We'll have to wait and see. That's just how we're going to have to end with this one.
I can tell you this: it will not be worth $5 to me.
Probably me too. But there's going to be people out there like, this is the best $5 a month I've ever spent. Woo! And if you're that person, good for you. Call us.
I mean, there's people that think $15 a month for HBO Now is a great deal and awesome. But at least there, you get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I got an interesting story here from Google. I've just came across this today. They're apparently working on making a game streaming service that uses the Chromecast or Chromecast technology. Where you will be able to pay for very much like your NVIDIA's game streaming or your Gaikai style, PlayStation Now service it's called, where you are able to pay a fee for a server to be running your games and it to be streamed directly to a home box of some kind, a console, where you will be able to don't have to download any of the software. It'll just be streamed to you. it's interesting that that Google's decided to get into this because they do actually have a lot of server infrastructure. This is something they could probably run the back end for if they really wanted to get into it. And they already have the Chromecast technology. Is it really going to be that good for the Chromecast technology? I don't know, but they probably are improving it, maybe because,
It's really funny because back in 2013, when the Chromecast first came out, they played around with this thing where you could launch a game on your Chromecast, and then you could use your phone as the controller, and you could play with people. And just like a week ago, I was wondering whatever happened to that.
Yeah.
And why didn't they do anything with that? And it sounds like it took them like
It's
5 years, but
that's still available to my understanding, right? Like you can still do that, but this is taking it to a new level. My understanding is this is going to be full on video games. Wabbit mentions that he just subscribed to GeForce Now. So this is similar to GeForce Now, or what was they mentioned one other one in here.
Kai was the new one. PlayStation Now. There used to be a program called On Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got sued.
Yeah. But the thing is that these solutions allow you to play high quality video games through on a remote computer, so that you don't have to have high end processing power on your local solution. So where like a PC game or a console, you have to have a disk or have a download and installed on your local machine so that your high-end graphics card can process it and display it. This would be run on a machine remotely, and then fully rendered images sent to a fully rendered stream sent to your TV. So you get to play video games on your TV without having to have a high-end, $400, $500 box to do that. You get like, what is a Chromecast, like $30 to $50, depending on when you buy it. So that's actually really cool if it works. The only concern I've ever had with these, and Wabbit says that the GeForce Now works really well. My big concern with something like this would be latency. I mean, you've got latency to your machine and then up to the cloud and then back down. So I would think latency would be problematic for like first-person shooter, super fast-paced stuff, but it wouldn't likely be a real problem for games like role-playing games or even standard action games and stuff like that. So I've read a lot about this. I used OnLive when it was a service, and I tried it out. They were pretty early into this, and they were and I remember playing Arkham Asylum on it, and the latency back then was 10 milliseconds or so, which is impressive. I mean, that's the amount where most people can't tell. Apparently, they've now got it down to 2 milliseconds. So it's amazing. And they sacrifice some visual quality in order to make it that fast. That's one of the downsides, is that if you've got the bandwidth, they can give it to you at really high, beautiful quality. But latency is the important thing. Well,
and it's
2 milliseconds. 2 milliseconds is like the pixel response time on your monitor.
Right.
It's like totally insane. Like your monitor can't render it any faster, so that's okay.
So the secret is that they basically need to get these workstations, these servers closer to you. So they are actually putting more locations closer and closer to you in order to make it so that latency is much lower. And that is the secret sauce. This has been done in Europe pretty successfully. There are actually programs in the States which you can do to use that. I use a program that it called Parsec, which allows me to run my own server on my own machine, and then I can remote onto another laptop and be able to remotely connect to that machine and run the game inside my house, or with some port forwarding outside my house, and it works pretty well. I've actually played with it. It's not bad. Still better to have the real hardware right in front of you, but still,
completely off topic, but with Parsec, is that a monthly subscription?
No, it's free.
Oh, I was going to say,
It's an
do you
open source
get a
program.
Kessel Run achievement if you pay for 12 months of Parsec?
Especially if you only pay it in 10 in 10 months.
In 10 months? Yeah.
I don't know. That would
That's
make
the
sense.
extent of my Star Wars knowledge.
Oh, nice.
That is, yeah, Wars, right? Not Trek.
Wars, yes.
Yes. All right.
Very good. You got that right. Good job, sir. No, it's an open source program. There's actually been a couple other ones out there. There was GeForce exclusive. It works really well with GeForce, and there's the one that the Steam Link one that works with any Steam program. And there's a lot of different ones. Parsec is an open source one, which means it does work with my Radeon card, which it does since I didn't go the GeForce route this time. I had to find something else, and it's really good. It's free. Go ahead and give it a shot. Especially you have to have a machine. The machine that's going to be the client has to be. It doesn't have to have a really fast graphics processor, but it has to be one that's compatible. It has to have a certain level of OpenGL support, by which means generally if it's a DirectX 10 card or if it's a DirectX 11 compatible, even the chipset, you'll be fine. So. Give it a shot. It's a free version, and it sounds like if Google can do this, it's another competitor in this game. I think this is going to be huge, personally. I think this is going to be. I'm going to look at the cost of a computer, and we're going to look at the cost of 12 months of service, and I'm going to say, well, that 12 months of service is a lot cheaper than a brand new computer. Yeah, I might do that.
Well, and the neat thing about these is that. A lot of times you get a lot of the games or all of the games included with that subscription. So you're paying for a subscription that gives you access to the games, but you also get the advantage of the hardware and stuff. And you don't have to install the games. You don't have to worry about a overnight download of a 60 gig file or anything like that. You just, hey, I want to play this game, and loads up and you can play it pretty much right away. And Wabbit did confirm that he's not seen any latency issues with his gaming. So that's pretty cool.
Issues.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty stoked about this. The real question then is what kind of game library are they going to end up with?
Right.
Because ultimately that's what makes or breaks a system, right? Is the quality of the game library that they have available. Microsoft has struggled a little bit this generation because they haven't had very good games this generation, and PlayStation has really dominated since the release of like the Xbox One, PlayStation 4. The previous generation, I feel like the 360 really was the dominant solution, and PlayStation 3 did well, but the 360 kind of won out with games like Halo and stuff. So I think that's really the key, but it doesn't necessarily have to ruin them either. If they don't have amazing games to start with, they can improve over time.
Yep.
Watch this space, everybody. The streaming computer versus having it at home. It will be an option a lot of people will be looking into for the future, I believe.
So, two questions for you. Especially so first of all, with graphics cards costing as absurdly expensive as they are right now because of cryptocurrency mining on graphics cards, driving the prices to 2 or 3x what they really should cost, this becomes super appealing, right? Because I have a card that I bought 2 years ago, and to replace it with the exact same card would cost me 3 times what I paid. I paid
so why don't you sell the card?
Yeah.
Sell on used market. Get some money.
Yeah, I paid like $200, and now it's selling for like $600. So the other question I have is, did Google buy all of the cards to put in their servers, and the real reason isn't cryptocurrency mining? It's Google's fault. Blame them.
No. Google's just getting into this game, so they haven't done it yet. Why don't you blame PlayStation?
They gotta have the hardware, right? Like, yeah.
No, GeForce. You blame the GeForce Now guys. They've been doing this, you know.
Yeah.
They're just getting into it. It's not their fault.
I think the real reason they're doing this is so that they can get a foothold into your community, and they can say, "Well, you can't. How can you stop us from building a data center here? We need to be in your community so that we can provide the people in your community better latency and better access to these games. That way they'll be well established when Android does become sentient, and then less resistance because they're in every neighborhood.
Well, we'll be plugged in, you know.
Yeah.
The other, the one other thing that I would say is, since we're talking about things screwing with the space with like graphics cards and stuff, something like this looks great right now, but also is the kind of thing that could be potentially severely impacted by net neutrality concerns. So this kind of solution could be, along with things like Netflix, could be severely hampered by pay per bandwidth type concerns that net neutrality could potentially show. So
Sure.
Keep an eye on that. Hopefully, and I do have little concern over net neutrality, but it is a potential concern. So something to kind of think about.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, anybody along the chain. It's a chain of service, so anybody along the chain could screw with you. So.
Right.
All right.
Let's see. I have an interesting story. It sounds like that we have a new champion. Well, at least we're gonna have a new champion in music streaming services. If you're a Spotify person, I'm sorry. It's fact. I'm sorry. You can't get away from it. Apple Music is going to overtake Spotify, and you just can't help it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just too many people are defaulting to that because it's what you get on an iPhone, and so.
Well, just like the iPhone's going to overtake, and everybody in the U.S. uses one, and Android will never catch up, right? Yeah. Well, that's what I hear. I hear every day that nobody has an Android phone.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody uses an iPhone, right?
I still believe, at least a year ago, and I'm not sure, that the iPhone was the most sold phone. But the iOS is by far not the most used phone OS, right?
Right.
So,
in aggregate, Android beats them easily.
80% market share.
By like many fold, right?
And they share that remaining like 20 to 30% with BlackBerry and Microsoft phone.
They don't count.
Well, they do, because
Like,
BlackBerry's got
a percentage.
They get another phone, but like I said, they share that
BlackBerry
small
phone is running Android. It is now.
It is now, but yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I mean, I don't know. Is this new Apple thing free?
it's Apple Music. You got to subscribe to it, right?
Yes.
It's a paid subscription.
Okay.
There's no
They've
no
already
free.
lost.
Yeah. Well, so this is what's interesting. Currently, Apple has 36 million subscribers. And I say currently, this is like September-ish or something. And as of January, Spotify had 70 million subscribers. So still just about double the number of subscribers. The thing is that Apple's growth pace is noticeably faster. However, that's expected, right? The larger you get, the slower you grow by percent, because you have attained a larger percentage of the total market available. So while I understand these people are probably intelligent analysts that are doing the math, I'm dubious to think that something like Spotify, that is a quality solution, is going to get beat out by Apple Music, because Apple Music is far too constrained in its availability. I don't think I can use Apple Music on my Android phone.
Yes, you can.
Can I?
You can, believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe, but yes.
It's crazy. Well, I never would use Apple Music on my Android phone, and I suspect that there's a lot of people that are of the same opinion. If I own an Android phone, why am I using Apple Music? There's Google Play, there's Amazon, there's Spotify. Why would I choose Apple Music? So I'd be surprised if they get anywhere near Spotify in the medium term.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it this way. Mike, when we were in Vegas, how much did I use Spotify?
all the time.
Like basically, if we were in the car, Spotify was playing.
Yeah.
How much did I pay for that?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Nothing. And that is the beauty of Spotify. And you're not going to get people go, oh, wait, I get everything that I want essentially for free. Or I can go over to Apple and give them like a bunch of money. I'm going to do that. Right. No, if someone decides, like Will was saying, he may start paying for Spotify Premium again. The Spotify people, they're going to say, oh, yeah, I don't want commercials anymore, and I want to be able to listen to, not on shuffle when I'm mobile. Yeah, they're going to just drop the money on Spotify.
Yeah.
Say good for Apple, we want competition. Because up until now, Spotify really hasn't had much competition.
Well, now wait a minute, Clyde. Wabbit is imploring us to mention Pandora because
the planet from that Blue People movie.
Yeah, it's the planet from Avatar. It's pretty wild and crazy.
It's where Unobtainium's from, right?
Yeah. So, anyways. Just wanted to give you that, Wabbit. You could do Pandora instead of Spotify if you wanted to get this.
I would rank Pandora. I would rank as a completely different product because Pandora is more like radio where you don't really have control. So that would be like what's the other one? Not iHeartRadio. What was the other Pandora or the Pandora equivalent that other people
let's see, Stitcher Radio?
Maybe. I don't know. There was another one that was similar.
Radio or something.
I don't remember. Oh,
there are so many of these.
It's not RDO because that is like gone.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that the other day.
Is it Groove Music?
I don't remember. Right? I'll think about it later. It's not a big deal. But yeah, it's a different. It would be like comparing Hulu to DirecTV now, where they're completely different. I mean, they both serve music, but they have a completely different way of doing it.
I do like Pandora. Pandora is awesome. If you want a certain kind of music and you don't care what it is, just give me some laid back jazz, and it just goes okay.
Exactly.
And just hands you laid back jazz, and it's awesome for that.
Yeah.
Versus a lot of the other ones are not so good at that.
Spotify's great at that if you put in the time and actually let it know what you like, and like follow bands and do stuff. Because like in the car, like we were talking about, I don't pay for the service, so I just listen to it. Creates new playlists for me daily, multiple genres based on the stuff that I actually like. And they have introduced me to a ton of bands that I never would have known about because I just learned to trust them and say, okay, I'll just do the daily playlist. And,
I need a Pandora for podcasts.
I think they have that. It's called Podcatcher.
Okay. The other service I use Google Play Music, and the free version is also pretty good. But just like Pandora, you can ask for a specific style of music, and they have some curated lists that are actually halfway decent if you can find the right one. If you say, "Hey, I want to listen to guitar solos," and it just happens to have one that's about guitar solos, it's great. If it doesn't have what you're looking for, good luck. Because it sucks.
That's the other nice thing about Spotify is here on my actual computer, it's not mobile. Then I've got full access to everything. There are no restrictions. I just hear a commercial every once in a while.
Yeah.
And then you can hop around to specific songs and create your own playlists. And we did that during the New Year's Eve stream on Captain Fubar's stream, where he decided on a topic or he created a public playlist. And then I threw songs in there that were fire related because that was his theme because of the fire next door. And
so I never really got into Spotify, and I know a lot of people are into it. I'm sure it's a wonderful service, but it does sound like it does take a little work to get it just right.
Oh, not really.
It's okay. No,
I mean,
not to try that.
I haven't done anything but just listen to the stuff I want. It's like Netflix, where you watch the stuff you want, and then it starts to know, oh, you watch this stuff. Hey, you should check out this show.
Right.
Oh no, you don't like that? Okay, try
Okay,
this.
less of that.
Yeah.
The trick, though, from what I understood, you said is by watching it on TV or on your computer, or by listening on your computer, you have a lot more control.
Yeah.
And so you can set up. It can learn really well, but if you're listening to it like in the app, you don't have as much control, so it won't be able to learn as effectively or as quickly.
No, yeah. And that's the thing, and that's the benefit of the way I use it. And like I said, all these services have different features for different people, and the way I use it is primarily on a computer, whether I'm at work or in my practice space, listening through big giant speakers. The car is secondary, so.
Yeah. Cool.
Rock on. Was there one more thing that you had to throw in there, Matt, to wrap up the news?
So it's just a little thing here. We have a story about the Super Bowl commercials, and there's all kinds of them. You might have all seen the various ones. You can actually go online and view a lot of them. And so one thing I just wanted to say is that no matter what happens, every single episode of every one of these shows, from this point on, it's a tight ad. Just so you know. If you have not seen this, Clyde, you should take a little bit of time just to watch. I mean, the Super Bowl commercials, some of them can be horrible and some of them can be great. This one is the one you'll like. Start with you'll have to go find it online, but it's got, what's the name of the actor who plays the sheriff in Stranger Things?
Sheriff in Stranger Things.
Yeah, well, he owns these commercials, and they're awesome because he's perfect in it. So basically, he asked the question, "What is this commercial about?" And because he kind of Pet said the commercial starts off being kind of like, "Oh, this is obviously a car commercial, or this is obviously whatever kind of medical commercial." And it says, "No, it's a tie ad. See, look at those shirts; they're perfectly white. They're so clean." And they are absolutely hilarious because every time it sets up, it's like, oh, what is this commercial about? Because you're expecting something, and no, it's a tight ad.
Nice.
It's as W. Scottus one. It is the next Was Up commercial, and it is a pretty nice one.
Wait, and I will be perfectly honest with you. I have not seen a single one of those commercials because
Okay.
I don't watch commercials. I pay not to see commercials.
That's fair. That's fair. Some of them are really good, though. Some of them are really funny. And
although I saw someone posting, how Coke spent $5 million to brag about how they donated $100,000 worth of water.
Yeah. No. Was it not? It's not Coke. That would be Anheuser-Busch.
Was it? I thought it was Coke. Okay.
No, was it Anheuser-Busch or was it?
Well, no, Coke, because Coke has that. They have the project where those, those new horrible Coke mixing things that you get with kiosks that mix the soda for you.
Yeah, I love those things.
They basically those were built as a side project.
The only way I can get a raspberry vanilla Coke, which is the most delicious thing ever.
Yeah, but those machines to make everything taste horrible because you still have leftover flavors in the nozzle from the other mixtures and just But no, the guy that invented the Segway, he wanted to create a water purifier thing, and they said, "Well, we will help you with that if you help us design this vending thing." And so that was their deal. And so they donate these water purifier machines to like places in Africa and stuff where they don't know how to keep it maintained and filtered, and they end up breaking within a couple months and are trash.
Yeah, they do.
But then they go, "Oh, well, we just donated this many dollars of clean water that they will have forever." Yeah, if you send someone down there to like maintain it. But But yeah, if you haven't watched there's a documentary about the Segway guy.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
They talk about that, but yeah, commercials. I don't watch them.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
I did see the Tide ads like after the football game. Like I said, for whatever reason, I didn't see it during the game, but I liked it. I thought it was really funny, and it was a good ad. I only saw one. It sounded like there was more than one.
There was at least 3 more.
Okay, cool. I'll have to watch them because
The first one's go ahead.
I was just going to say, to me, these kinds of ads are actually entertainment in and of themselves. Yes, they are advertisements. They are selling a product, and they are trying to influence your purchasing decision. But they are designed very well by very creative and very intelligent people, and they are truly entertaining. So I will go and find the Tide ads specifically to watch them, and I will probably enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, well, also remember, right now Tide is going through a little bit of a PR crisis with people doing the Tide Pod Challenge. Stupid idiots eating stupid poison. Don't do it, you idiots. If you're doing that, you're an idiot. Can I say it again? You're an idiot for eating Tide Pods. Okay. Don't do it. But so they couldn't have said anything about it during this because just Streisand effect, just mentioning it might get more people to do it.
Right.
So what do? They come up with this brilliant, if you ask me, idea of just going, yeah, it's a Tide ad. It's it doesn't matter what you're watching. It's just its own thing. So yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know why
Jackie. Don't you dare.
I don't understand why these people are so obsessed with Tide Pods. Everybody knows Gain is where it's at.
Ah! It does smell better. It does smell better.
It tastes much better, too. It doesn't make my skin get all red and rashy. Like
everything
Tide.
tests better than, Comet. Comet's the old one, right?
Yeah. And to quote, and I think a Jerry Seinfeld quote.
No, Comet was not a clothing cleaner, was it? It was just
no, it was marketed originally as many uses. But
yeah,
I remember
got the old
cleaning my
song.
seats with Comet.
Comet. It makes you turn green. Comet. You taste like gasoline. Comet.
Yeah.
It makes you vomit. So try some Comet and vomit today.
Yeah, no, everybody talking about that Tide commercial, though, it made me remember an old Jerry Seinfeld bit where he talked about the detergent companies, and he said, if you are getting blood all over your shirts, finding a good detergent may not be your biggest issue.
Yeah.
You remember the old commercials where they'd be like, this shirt's covered in blood.
And
Clorox
vomit.
will get it clean. Yeah.
Feces, blood, vomit, all these things.
I don't. You might
No, I didn't see that version of the commercial where it was covered in blood. I remember the dirt, the grass stains, and the mud stains.
Well,
it would be far more entertaining if they were like gangsters, like coming back. Oh man, I got brain all over my shirt. What am I going to do to get this gray matter?
No,
and
it's Mama's pasta sauce.
Oh no, that's so wrong.
All right. I'm guessing that's probably it for the news talk.
Yep.
All
We
right.
are done.
All right, let's get a little bit of this rant and rave stuff, as if we don't do that for the entire show to begin with. But
I would like to start a rave with a little tiny bit of rave. Are you ready?
okay,
Our rave bumper worked.
it did.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Woo!
I reloaded it last time after the show, and
So
now it
I'm
works
impressed. I was awesome. And then another little rave I've got to say is that Plex and my Plex box is amazing. I love it. One new feature that I have is that we went on a little road trip to go take to a doctor. On the road trip, my son, for his birthday, got the Lego Ninjago movie, and we ripped it, put it on Plex, of course.
Did you watch it?
And I saw it in the theaters with him. Yes.
And it was awesome, wasn't it?
So of the Lego movies recently, I actually would put it under Lego Batman, but it was good. It
I
was
didn't
fun.
see Lego Batman. I love Ninjago though. I didn't know anything about it when I watched it.
Lego Ninjago is basically if you could remove everybody but Jackie Chan, the Green Ninja, and Garmadon, and it'd still be an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Everything else could disappear. Those three are the story, and it's good. It is. Garmadon in particular is a amazing character, although he's just a buffoon. But it is a interesting character to watch. So
It was.
very much.
I loved it.
I'll check it out.
It's totally kid fun and ninjas and
Lots
so
of
that's cool.
deep cuts in the jokes.
Sure. But because I was able to grab my son's phone before our trip, press the sync button, was able to sync a copy of the movie right to his phone. No hassle, no fuss, just 5 minutes later, ready to go. He wanted to watch it on the trip. He watched it like 2 or 3 times. Awesome.
Right on.
That's so good.
Nice.
I love this software. Everybody should be looking into using this. And now I have the hiccups.
Yeah, for those of you that have get some sort of physical media instead of just buying everything as digital movies on Amazon like me.
Physical media rocks, dude.
I can always download my Amazon movies onto my phone or my tablets and take them with me. But
I walk right to the store, walk past all the different streaming things, and look at the cheap DVD bin and go, that's worth $3. Yeah, I'll grab that movie.
DVD?
Yes.
How can you do that to your poor eyes? You torture your eyes with that
It's
stuff.
a 5-inch phone, mister.
It's 480p. That phone is 1080p. You should be displaying it in the resolution it was intended to be used at.
It's
On your
fine.
face so that it looks this big.
Anyway.
I can see the pixels.
Or
Yes.
if you're watching the movie Pixels, maybe.
Oh, no.
I won't necessarily admit to having bought a bunch of new movies because I could get them in HD even though I had them already in DVD. No, I would never do that. Except with all of the Harry Potter movies. Because my daughter was watching them and I was like, I've only got them in DVD. I'm not going to watch this. This is crap. This is driving me crazy. Literally, I put the first movie in, watched about 10 minutes of it, switched over to Amazon, bought it in HD, and we streamed the rest of it because it was driving me crazy.
And that's why you never upgrade to 4K, because you'll ruin your entire library.
Just keep your
Well, that's what they said about DVD. Don't upgrade to DVD because all of your VHS will become obsolete and you'll have to replace them. That never happened.
Still using your VHS there, Clyde?
Some of them.
Pull out your Betamax when you want to watch a movie?
I still have a Betamax someplace of Journey live in concert and American Graffiti.
Nice.
And I think there was a Loverboy concert too. It's Betamax. It was only available in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say I've got a rant, or not a rant, but a rave.
Okay.
Something that I never thought would happen ever on this show just happened. No, it's not the 16 people that we're currently watching. We're currently 15, maybe,
What?
But
Double digits?
Yeah.
M-Beam proposed to Jackie in the chat, and she said, done and done, which I think is a yes. Now it's official. So, I don't know how that's going to work. Is that going to be a long-distance marriage, guys?
How are you going to send the ring? You got to send the ring.
She's going to make a puppet M-Beam to keep her company while he's in Ohio. Or
Totally
wherever it is that he haunts.
Congratulations to those two, I think.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out in the next couple episodes. No, that's funny.
Have a reason you got to come back next week because you got to find out what happens.
Yeah.
Ooh, cliffhanger. I like it.
Right.
Now my the rave that I came in expecting to talk about was that show Altered Carbon. I don't know, you ever hear about it?
I've been hearing all kinds of people saying, it's not so good.
What? Well, see, this
Really?
is what's funny. Because I went into it knowing absolutely nothing. I didn't watch any of the previews. The only thing I knew about it was that their demo at CES was good enough that it convinced a lady, and she asked if she could try it out. Mike remembers.
Yeah. I loved that that advertisement that they had set up at CES. That was one of my highlights, just because just because they did such a good job of presenting, and I was really impressed by their actors, models, whatever they were, because they kept a straight face all the way through, and they presented it like straight up, this is a real thing, we're offering you this opportunity, or will be soon offering you this opportunity. And it was funny to watch the faces of people, because like that one lady, she was ready to try it.
She asked if they had a demo available that she could try out. That did throw the presenter for a loop, and it took a minute for her to catch her. Get composure.
But some of the other people, you could tell, like in their eyes, they were getting freaked out. Like they were like genuinely concerned about the ethics and like potential risks of what was being proposed. And it was really funny to watch people like just kind of get a little terrified of what was happening in the world now. Like, we're really there? Oh no. Yeah. And of course it's not real. And it was fun. Like Clyde and I, we just had the smile on our face the whole time because we immediately knew what it was, and it was great.
Yeah. And while I try to find that picture, what I was going to say is the show came out on Friday. If you go into Discord, you will find on Saturday me asking, when is season 2? I loved it. I thought it was kind of a mix between, it was a little bit between Blade Runner and, what's the space one that, people have been watching for the last couple of years, with
The Expanse?
The Expanse. It was kind of some of the characters felt like from The Expanse more, but it was like those two kind of put together. I didn't know what to expect. I would definitely recommend binging it because I stopped watching it at one point, and then when I came back a few hours later, I couldn't remember stuff because they throw so much at you so fast that it makes perfect sense when you just keep watching it. And it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. Here is the booth at CES.
Wow.
Yes, I chase. But they... there was a guy that was looking at me when I took the picture. So, yeah.
Hey, dude, what you taking a picture of? Hey, am I instead of the way? I didn't need to be. Sorry.
But no, I recommend it. I mean, a lot of people, I think, went into it with expectations because they had read whatever books or whatever, or they went in with their, specific, like opinions or that they needed to meet because, they're into sci-fi specific kind, whatever. I just went, I don't know what it was, and I gave it a shot, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. And, so give it a chance.
Very cool.
Cool.
We'll see.
All right.
Well, I kind of already went into my rave. I actually thought this was a really good Super Bowl, and it was a genuinely good football game all around. So enjoyed it quite a bit, and was pretty happy that the Eagles won.
Wait, spoiler alert!
Oh, sorry. I meant to throw up the spoiler warning.
So that's why everybody at work is like complaining about Eagles fans tearing down the Arby's sign.
So the thing is that they would have done that anyways, right? Like the Philadelphia Eagles fans are just going to destroy things when the game ends.
Imagine how bad it would have been if they
because
lost.
they're so mad. if they win, they destroy it because they're so happy and excited. So it's like they're going to destroy things either way. That's what they do. They're Eagles fans. But I thought it was good. It was fun to watch them win. They were a distinct underdog. There was no expectation of them winning as a whole. And so that was a fun game. I also wanted to mention Sabaton. Been listening to them quite a bit lately. They're I don't know, what kind of band are they, Clyde?
They're metal.
Metal.
I mean,
they're
they'd say
definitely
like 90s, kind of thrashy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Most of their songs are about war, a lot of World War II battles and stuff, and just kind of singing the songs of the stories of the soldiers that fought and died in these various wars. You know, they've got songs about Sparta, songs about World War II, and it's just a lot of fun to listen to the music.
With the theme, I like it.
Yeah, and it's educational, right? Like while you don't learn a ton from the songs, I've gone and like, oh, I wonder what this song is about. What's the Lost Battalion? So then you Google that and you find out about a battle during World War II where they were surrounded and they didn't know exactly where they were. So they ended up getting shot by they were getting artillery fire from friendly fire and stuff like that. So it's like, and all of this is in the song, so it's actually really interesting, really fun, and a little bit educational. Because I'm an interested kind of person, so I always go and Google the topic afterwards and find out more about the actual battle. And so I'm learning a little bit, having a great time. Music is really driving, really exciting, and interesting, and I enjoy every single song that I've listened to of theirs so far.
Yeah. And if you go see them live, you might see a tank on stage with a drum set on top. Which I got to say, I got to give them credit. That's pretty awesome. I might have to steal that idea.
I might have to go see them live because that sounds really cool.
So when I said no spoilers, I actually meant it because I was actually dealing with a birthday party at the same time as the game. So
you were going to go watch it.
We DVR'd it. And we immediately afterwards, our party, we sat down and we started watching it. Got through the halftime show, and at which point we stopped and we said, "Okay, we better finish this some other time." We were thinking of finishing it last night. We got distracted. We didn't have time to do it tonight because we're here. I'm doing this, so I still haven't seen the second half of the game. Apparently, it was really fun in the second half, and yeah, so. We're gonna watch it somehow.
Sorry, I didn't. I couldn't imagine that you wouldn't have known the final outcome yet.
We figured out the final outcome pretty quick. It's just like
because everybody gets pretty excited about it, and it was
the Eagles won. What?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was.
That's how you know they won. The historic Arby's hat sign in Uptown Minneapolis is now on the ground.
Why'd they do that? Come on, Philly.
People are saying they did that. I don't know if they actually did that. I think it was just the snow. Like,
it was just cold.
I think it happened the day before the Super Bowl, but yeah. We got a big storm. It was stupid. All right.
Did you get affected by it? I mean,
I avoided it like the plague. I stayed in my house pretty much all weekend. I played a lot of video games with people in the game night server.
Nice.
We did some GoldenEye Source, which, Matt, I think you would enjoy.
GoldenEye Source, huh? So it's a Source version of GoldenEye?
Yep. So they used, the Half-Life Source to rebuild GoldenEye.
You know, I never played GoldenEye on the GameCube.
I had never played it either, and it was weird. It took a lot of getting used to with having a radar at the bottom that told you what direction people were, and it was fun. We played a few hours of that with Mac and Funkarius, and and Wabbit played.
Which, from what I could tell, because leading up to the game, they kept showing the temperature and stuff. Staying inside seemed like a good decision. Holy crap, it was freezing there.
That's just normal.
It's winter.
No, and
February.
The funny thing is, I had to take my kids home on Sunday, which happened to be while the game was happening, and I tried to go out of my way without going the opposite way and loop around town. So, I had to drive by the stadium, and it was right around halftime, and from the outside, you could not tell that anything was happening. There were no searchlights. There were no special anything. When I flipped on the TV, I did see an aerial shot of the stadium. So apparently they had some lights on the glass top, but you can't see that from anywhere else. It looked completely deserted.
So you're saying the streets didn't turn purple?
Oh, well, the streets are always purple.
Oh.
But this town bleeds purple. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's done. And I can stop hearing people complaining about, I don't have any place to live because I rented my house out for $5,000 for the weekend.
Wow.
Boo, I have to stay with my other relatives and there's 20 of us in the house. Well, that's your fault for renting out your house. You don't get to make money and complain about it. One or the other. I guess there's my rant. There is my rant. Oh yeah, it was Super Bowl weekend.
I could drive somewhere for $5,000 for a weekend. Come on, I could just go somewhere.
Yeah, but if you want to stay with a big group of people in a 4-bedroom house on Super Bowl weekend,
oh yeah,
then I think $5,000 is actually a pretty good deal. That's like the price of one ticket.
I know, crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess on that note, stick around after the show. We'll probably bitch some more. We gotta choose some titles. So go on over to tvs.showbot.tv and vote for your favorite titles. For those of you watching this after the fact, come on out sometime. Hang out live, because this is when the fun happens. You get to vote. You get to make up the titles. And, sometimes if you're vulgar enough or funny enough or a little of both, your title may become the actual title of the show.
We actually don't accept vulgar titles, but that's okay.
So my ESPN one's not going to be allowed?
I don't know. It's up to you.
You'll
Actually,
see it later.
you kind of do make the last call on those.
Jeez, I just got it. I saw when you put that in, and I didn't pay attention to what you wrote. I just oh, that's weird. Numbers and letters together.
We'll save that for after show. And yeah, so come on out Wednesday nights here on Twitch, 9 p.m. Central. We are here every week. We are now affiliated, so we are taking subs. We are taking followers. We're not a cult, but we could be if you want us to be. So, come hang out. Afterwards,
sure.
Stick around afterwards. W. Scottish One will be hosting another game night where we play some Fortnite, do some other stuff,
cool.
Talk some mad crap over the Discord, right here on Twitch. And then, I guess, guys, thank you.
Later.
Thank you, everyone in chat. It's been fun. We will catch you later.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.